Welcome to Kodiak, Alaska 2013. I'm Ray Mears. We're headed to Kodiak to photograph brown bear, mountain goat, eagles, and a wide variety of other wildlife. The first part of our trip will be to climb after mountain goats. Don't let them hear me breathing hard. You had video that, didn't you?
Well, we're almost there for our first night.
Well, we're on, where are we anyway?
We're on Three Sisters Mountain Range, Kodiak, Alaska.
And I'm getting a hot meal here with Jason, Jace, or Jay. Either one of those three he'll take. We completed a 6-hour climb the first day, camped out, and now we are on the second day's climb, and we're anticipating finding goats in around 3 hours. Or at least we'll be in goat country then. Do I need to smile about right now?
Yep.
Woo! Glory. We spotted a goat on the side of one of the mountains, but he was not accessible to us, and so Jason went looking. He climbed some very tall mountains. It was an amazing thing what he did, but he finally spotted one, and we began to climb to him. We located the animal, and we began to look for an appropriate spot to set up the tripod. And Jason began to call me up, and this was a difficult climb to get to where I was going to be set up.
Ray, right there. Ray. Right there. Stay right there.
As you can tell, I was having a little trouble hearing him, and made kind of a funny moment in the trip. At this time, the goat began to climb, and he was feeding his way along the side of the mountain. We didn't know where he was going to end up, and so we were very cautious to where we set our camera up, and tried not to be spotted, but he eventually did. But we were thankful he did not run off, and I was able to take photographs. The video camera makes the goat appear much further away than it actually is. The size of the animal and the size of my lens made it possible for us to get a fairly sharp and clear photograph of this beautiful animal.
And that's wildlife viewing with Ray Mears, 70 years old, 2,600 feet from sea level in 9 hours, through Kodiak, Alaska country. He's crazy. And we love him.
Just one more day in the life of a wildlife photographer. Living life's greatest adventure.
Oh, there's a shot.
I'll always remember this quiet moment on a mountainside in Kodiak, Alaska. I am in awe today of the beauty of this scene, how God created all this and glorifies Himself through what He has created. And then also the fact that as an older man, to be able to come up here and do this has been a great adventure for me. And I have found God to be faithful in accomplishing this trip and this trek with Jason. And we're fixing to head down and have a great day in God's creation. And I'm so thankful to be here. One more day in the life of a wildlife photographer. I'm going to catch a float plane to the Rohrer Bear Camp, which is about a 30-minute flight across the island of Kodiak, and some of the most beautiful terrain I know that I've ever seen. You'll see a mountain goat sometimes on tops of the mountains, and then we'll come to land in the Pacific Ocean in a little inlet where the Rohrer Bear Camp is located. And they hunt out of this camp as well as fish. I'm going to be photographing out of the same camp today. The bear camp has most of the comforts of home except no internet service or cell phone, which is a good thing. But anyway, we take an inflatable boat and we go out into the areas where the salmon are coming upstream here. The tide is out right now, and the big brown bear coming down out of the mountains, and they're feeding on the salmon. And this is one of the reasons the brown bear is so big in comparison to a grizzly. It's basically a grizzly, but because of what he eats, he grows to be much larger. But you're going to see some big bear here in just a little bit, some beautiful bear. You'll also see some eagles possibly, and I know you'll hear the seagulls as well.
Where are you, Ray? Where are you?
Where are they?
Where are you?
I'm in Kodiak, Alaska, trying to photograph brown bear and eagles and all kinds of stuff. Having a blast. But now we got brown bear out there in the bushes. In a little while, an old sow and a couple of cubs come out. She's digging around. I guess she's looking for clams or something else to eat. And then from our right comes this brown bear, a young bear, but he's a big bear. And of course you have to remember these bears are in their summer coats. They're not in their winter coats yet. And so when they're in their winter coats, they appear a much larger bear. But he comes out and he's going to show you his fishing techniques in just a moment. But right after that, you will see him at less than 10 yards from us. Now, the camera once again shows him to be further away from us, but he's right below us in this creek bank. And we kind of have to back up, so we don't want him to think that we're a threat, and we just happen to be a little bit above him on this bank. And then he works his way on down, and we had the opportunity to really get some great photographs, as we'll see later on. But this is a beautiful, beautiful bear. It was not long after this that a bear actually charged me, and my guide got between me and the bear and stopped him. Now here we get a bear close to our boat, and our guide is a little concerned. He's got a big gun with him if he has to fire it to protect our transportation back to camp. We're headed out now to photograph eagles, sea otters, puffins, seals, and most anything else we can find.
So where are we, Mr. Ray?
In the middle of nowhere, looking for eagles.
And we came
on a rainy day, Alaskan day.
We came from that direction.
We got eagles up there. We got eagles over there. As I began to walk through this tall grass trying to slip up on some eagles, Jason said, be careful that you don't stumble over or stir up some brown bear. Well, that didn't help my situation at all. But anyway, after completing the morning of photography, we went fishing.
Hello, Mr. Ray.
I got a silver on this thing about as big as I am.
What do you got there?
I got a 15-pound silver salmon. I'll tell you, my first. Isn't that something? I have many of these animals in a gallery on a wall in my home, and I love to go back and relive the moments when I was up close and personal on the brown bear, and when I was climbing that mountain trying to get to a mountain goat, and the struggles that we went through and the dangers that we went through. And then being face to face and with the seal and the silly sea otter and the puffins and the beautiful eagles as they were soaring off the cliffs and coming out of the trees. It was something to behold. the beauty of God's creation, and I was in awe of everything that I was seeing. I was so grateful to God that He put it in my heart to go and photograph these for you to see and to appreciate and give Him glory for what He has done. What a wonderful God we serve.